Hey guys, welcome to a new Guilty Gear Strive video. It's come to my attention that we have many people struggling with how grabs work in Guilty Gear. So let me try to give you the rundown on them. To give you a better understanding, let's first start off with a beginner-friendly comparison of how grabs in Guilty Gear are different than grabs in some other fighting games. Grabs in other fighting games are typically slower. They aren't usually the fastest move in your arsenal when it comes to attacks. But in Guilty Gear, this is the exact opposite. Grabs are your fastest moves and can be used as a punish as well as a way to open up your opponent. Next up, grab range. You tend to have to be close to land grabs in other fighting games as well, but you'll learn that you need to be even closer in Guilty Gear. I say if you're close enough to kiss, you're at the right range. In some fighting games, there may be other conditions to landing a grab. For example, in Tekken 7, normal grabs cannot grab a crouching opponent. Also, your strings or attacks may let you buffer in a grab. For those who don't know, this is putting in the grab input during the recovery animation of another move so that it comes out as fast as possible. In Guilty Gear Strive, we're in a different world. Crouching opponents can be grabbed just like a standing opponent. We even have throws in the air if people are jumping. I like to call these slam dunks, but to each their own. Many moves in Guilty Gear also have pushback, which will not leave you in range to do a grab after an attack has been blocked. I have seen many people online grabbing straight up oxygen because of this. I'm hoping we'll all have enough air and don't need to be grabbing oxygen, especially if it's gonna get us blown up. So now that we got that over with, let's talk about why our grab is missing, also known as whiffing. This comes down to a subject known as frame data. If you aren't familiar with this, frame data basically is a way to measure the speed of moves and how quickly they recover. For more information on this, I really suggest checking out the Dust Loop wiki. They have a lot of frame data for Guilty Gear Strive there. I'll go ahead and leave a link for it in the description. In Guilty Gear Strive, if your opponent is in block stun, which means they're still recovering from a blocked attack, cannot grab them. No way. You just can't do it. Command grabs and regular grabs will not work. They must recover before they can be grabbed. It's in the game for balance purposes, I think. That's my thought. This is the biggest reason why some players' grabs aren't landing. Attacking an opponent with block stun pressure and trying to force a grab onto them isn't going to work that way. You're just going to collect a mean amount of oxygen and get absolutely deleted. I recommend learning the timings of your opponent's recovery during a blocked move in training mode to see how soon you can land a grab. Remember, regular grabs in Guilty Gear Strive come out at 2 frames, super fast. You have to allow the opponent to recover from the block stun before you can commit to a grab. Once they've recovered, you can land all types of nasty to open them up. Some opponents will even begin to freeze up if your pressure was good enough, and they will eat grabs like they're at an all-you-could-eat buffet. I'm serious. So in the end, applying pressure will open up your opponent to eating grabs, not because they're recovering from a blocked attack, but because they remain blocking due to feeling the pressure you're dishing out. It's basically a mind game. They choose not to press because they expect something else, and therefore, they're open for free grabs now that won't whiff if you're in the right range for them. There are ways to Roman cancel to get a grab landed on an opponent. I'll let you experiment with these yourself to see what you find. This is one I found with Soul Bad Guy using his command throw. I think does a ton of damage. And I've had success with this in normal games. Once you feel comfortable with all this, there is an advanced technique you can learn called tick throws, which is used in like all fighting games. A tick throw is the name for a strategy that involves using an attack that will place you at frame advantage, followed up by throwing the opponent before they can attack you. It could be difficult to learn, but if you'd like to master it, you'll have to do lots of practicing. It's definitely worth it though, 100%. Here's an example of a tick throw setup in Guilty Gear using Potemkin. You can test out tick throws by having your opponent block something and set them up to counterattack in the settings after blocking. Usually I suggest a fast move like a punch. You'll have to locate the frame data or test it out yourself because the game currently doesn't have a way to display it, plus in the training mode. For this, I recommend using Dust Loop Wiki. Like I said earlier, it's pretty awesome for finding the frames, especially this early on. Hopefully in the future they'll patch in something to show us the frame data and the recovery. It'll be a lot easier to learn the game that way. We'll finish up with learning how to break or tech a throw. I've had questions about this though. Let's get them answered. To break out of a throw, you yourself must perform the throw action. This is based off a read as the throws are way too fast to react to. Remember, we're talking 2 frames here. No human is going to react to that. If you think your opponent is about to grab you, you should counter by grabbing them yourself to create a throw clash. Or just jump. I notice many players not realizing that jump will keep you safe from a throw if you think it's coming. The only way to throw a jumping opponent is by doing a jumping throw yourself. Like, you just gotta soar up there and grab him. Dunk that kid. Or you might be lucky enough to have a unique move that grabs airborne people like Potemkin does. And yes, for those of you wondering, you can throw clash the regular aerial throws as well. You're not doomed up there. That about sums it up. I hope you guys learned something from this video. I'll be making more Guilty Gear Strive videos here on my channel, so remember to leave a like if you found the video to be helpful. And don't forget to subscribe for the upcoming videos. Thank you for watching and have an awesome day.